All right, again, this is review 5-3. Numbers 11 and 12 for inverses. It says find the inverse of the following equations with the given domain restrictions. Okay, remember the deal with these is we have a quadratic here, so we're going to have to take a square root to get rid of that. And remember, when we take a square root to get rid of the square, we have a positive version of the root and we have a negative version of the root. So we have this option to keep this as a function. When we take the square root, we either need to, when we do the square root, we either need to choose, hey, I want the right side, where it goes to positive infinity, or I need the left side that goes to negative infinity. Okay? So what tells us that is this domain restriction. If it is greater than 3, like it says there, that means it's bigger than wherever x is 3. So we want the positive side. Okay? So when we take the square root, we're going to have the positive square root. If it says x is less than 3, that means we want the left side. We want the negative side. So whenever we take a square root, we're going to take the negative square root. Okay? Let me wipe this clean real quick. And let's write that up here. So if I've got, okay, if I am greater than, x is greater than 0, that means I want the positive root. Okay? If I want the left side, that's x is less than 0, which means I want the negative root. Okay? That's the rules for a lot of this. Really for the rest, for 11 through 16, that's the rules. So here we go. Number 11 says find the inverse of the equation with the given domain restriction. So we'll start off just like anything else. Switch your x and y. So x equals 2, y minus 3 squared minus 8. And we'll just start moving everything over. So we got that minus 8 out there, so it's x plus 8 now equals 2y minus 3 squared. All right, remember you cannot distribute this because of that too. Your PEMDAS, your parentheses and exponents become before multiplying and dividing. That's not going away. Actually, I want to do this so I can get rid of that. There we go. So instead, we're going to divide by 2. So we'll just do x plus 8 divided by 2 equals y minus 3 squared. All right, now we're going to take the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And when we do that, the square cancels out on the right. So we're left with the square root of x plus 8 divided by 2 equals y minus 3. Now remember, we wanted to know whether we wanted the positive or the negative. And since our domain restriction says x is greater than 3, so when we take our parabola, it means they want from 3 up to positive infinity. So we want the positive root. So we'll leave it alone. We won't put the negative in front of it. Last but not least, we need to move that 3. So it's negative 3, so we're going to add the 3. So let me give myself some space. We're going to take the square root of x plus 8 divided by 2, and then plus 3 equals y. Right? And again, if it said x is less than 3 instead, remember x would be, when it's less than, we want the negative root. That just means we would have picked a negative out there instead. Okay? That's the only difference. Try number 12 on your own, see how far you get. Okay, hopefully you did about 12 by now. Again, first things first, we are going to switch x and y. So we got x equals 2/3 3y plus 5 squared minus 4. Okay, and we'll just start solving. Move the 4 over, so that's x plus 4 equals 2/3. Almost wrote that wrong. 3x plus 5 squared. All right, to get rid of the fraction, remember the top part of a fraction multiplies and the bottom part divides. So we need to get rid of the 3, we've got to multiply by 3. To get rid of the 2, we need to divide by 2. Okay, so we have, I'll go ahead, this I can distribute because there's no exponent. So 3x plus 12 divided by 2 equals 3y plus 5. I did it again. That's a 3y plus 5. I turned it into an x for some stupid reason. I have a very bad habit of that, of turning all my variables into x's. Alright, to get rid of the square, we are going to take a square root of both sides. Remember, that cancels out the square. But the question is, do we want the negative one or the positive one? Well, the restrictions say less than, which means we want less than the left-hand side of negative 5/3. So we need a negative root. So here we go. We have negative square root of 3x plus 12 over 2 equals 3y plus 5. And we're almost done. We just got to move the 5 and move 3. So to move the 5, I'll subtract it. So that's negative 3x plus 12 over 2. Oh, sorry, forgot my root. Minus 5 equals 3y. And then last but not least, divide by 3. And there's your final answer. Ugly, I know, but it's just moving one piece after another. And do we need the negative part of the? Do we need the negative portion, or the portion going to negative infinity, or do I want the portion going to positive infinity? Okay. There you go.